anyone who's got allergies, take this.
NAD is probably the biggest thing coming out right now on anti-aging. Normally, like when we're tight in here and you start getting that pressure and you're taking those joints and muscles through full range, this one feels almost addicting. So consistency over intensity. And then we're just going to roll up and down. It seems crazy, but when you go get massages and they're finding tightness in here, the first thing you need to do is start releasing this stuff. Kelly, thank you. You did the exercises last week and it helped a lot.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope y'all are doing great this morning. Welcome to another episode of Tea with Dr. D. I hope everybody got outside this morning. It was like a really nice little semi-cool breeze, which is a welcomed reprieve from the suffocating heat that we've been having over the last couple of weeks. And I have a friend of mine who moved here from Maine, and she was like, this is just stupid. Like, this is just smothering heat. So also, thank you to everyone who reached out. Good morning, Kelly. Christy, good morning. Yes, by all means, look, listen, throw it on the speakerphone and keep working while we're talking. If y'all have any questions, throw them in here. Thank you to everyone who reached out after the last episode. If you have questions about any of the things that we talk about on here, please send us a text message to our text platform. Can we put the number up there? 801-691-7582. And that gives us a really good way to reach out, to talk, to answer questions. I get a bunch of questions from y'all on supplements and pain and exercises and all of that stuff. For those of you who are joining me, I'm going to tell you all this on the front end because you're going to see this pretty quickly. This is my favorite little nootropic supplement that I've talked about for the last couple of weeks. So if you weren't on, if you see the blue going on there, that is actually one of these little mints. So I see that now that's a pretty strong look. But good morning, Patrick. I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're feeling a little bit better. Cool. So let's get into the show. We'll answer some questions and dive into a couple of things. So let's see, what are we starting with? If y'all have any questions, by all means, throw them in. Please drop us a line. If you know people who need to hear some of this stuff, please share the show with them. Tag them in the comments. We're getting a lot of people who are kind of reaching out right now about immune systems and what do we need to do for that. And we've got a lot of good information that has really helped a lot of people when they're following these immune protocols that we've been talking and doing these little extra things to boost their immune system. It really does pay off right now with everything going on. Those little things that you do every day that boost your immune system are massively changing in the long run. And, you know, when we start looking at really any types of sickness, if you have a strong immune system, that's the stuff that you can control. And so do those little things every day. Take the little supplements, get in the sun, do the cold exposures, do all the things that we've talked about to keep your immune system strong. One, you're just going to feel better in general. Two, you're going to do better when we're going through these things, when we have these health attacks, when we have these viruses. The stronger your immune system is, the better you're going to be. So let's get into it. Let's see. How much does the SpectraCell testing from last week cost? Yeah, we got a bunch of questions about that. And SpectraCell is, insurance does cover at least a portion of SpectraCell testing. If you're just paying to get a SpectraCell test, the whole micronutrient test that we went through last week is about $390. If you have insurance, I think they pay for a little over half of that. They'll pay for about 200 of that, and your bill would be about $190. This depends on insurance. Medicare does reimburse for it. That kind of depends on if you have secondaries and all that stuff. You know, it's frustrating because I think this is a really important test for people to be doing to control their own health. And we got a lot of questions, why haven't I heard about this before? Why haven't I been recommended this before? And the real answer to that, to me, is that when you start doing these things, when you start taking control of your health and staying healthy, that negatively affects many of the players in the healthcare industry in America. Most people in America that are involved in healthcare make more money the sicker you are. That's just the facts. That's how it works. If we have more sick people, we have more people in healthcare making a lot of money. When you start looking at these different things that keep you healthy, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, the access to those things is difficult. And that's on us to do better as healthcare professionals, to try and find ways to keep people healthier. How do we do more things on the front end instead of being so reactive in healthcare? But when you start doing this and you do a SpectraCell test once or twice a year, and you see everything that's going on inside your body, and you start correcting those things, and that leads to something else where you're doing a lipoprotein test, same thing with SpectraCell, and okay, here's where my true levels of cholesterol that would affect my health are, and you start doing the activities that can improve that, then all of the negative trickle-down effects from not paying attention to that, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, sickness, you name it, start to either get negated and healed before they get there, or you make it much, much easier to deal with if it is so strong in your genetics that it's going to happen. If you give yourself the best chance of beating that on the front end, the back end, when you actually have to deal with those things, is so much easier. The same thing that we're talking about with immune system. If we get our immune system strong and we do come in contact with a virus, I promise you're going to feel better. You're going to fight it off easier. Like all the immune stuff that we've been talking about with COVID, I do pretty much every year around flu season. And I think that's what a lot of people, especially if you're at risk, especially if you know that you have some nutritional deficiencies, if you come in contact with a lot of people, if you have diabetes, if you have respiratory issues, any of those things, you want to make sure that you're doing some of the preventative and immune boosting activities to get you into a healthy position. So, that's how the SpectraCell testing works. If you have insurance, it covers some of it. It covers about $200 for you. If you don't, it's about $390 per test. But I think even if you do it once a year, the information you get from that is so valuable that you can start changing things and see, when I test again in a year, have I corrected those things? Like for me, I want to see my vitamin B levels get better. I want to see that trickle down to where my glutathione levels are back in an excellent range. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gets y'all some information. If y'all have more questions about that, by all means, shoot us a message. So good stuff. Good stuff. Post-COVID recovery. So I think when someone does have COVID, what we're seeing right now is that the effects on the lungs are significant. And so we need to do all the things that we can do to improve lung function, to make sure that we're healing the lungs on a deep level. If we're still dealing with some of the effects, like our lungs are actually, we're having trouble breathing, we're doing some of that stuff, I would continue to do some of the treatments that helped you get over COVID. So I would continue to do, some of the breathing treatments, some of the breathing exercises that we're showing are really helpful. I would continue doing some of the supplementation that helps to get the lungs healthier. The other two things that I would really highly recommend is to find a facility that does pulsed EMF treatments, PEMF. That's something that we have here that helps to drive oxygen and blood flow into these deeper tissues, particularly if we target the lungs. That helps tremendously with lung repair. It really helps get some oxygen transfer into the lungs and helps your body repair that. If you have really negative effects from that, from having COVID, if somebody's really dealing with that, I would look for somewhere that does soft hyperbaric oxygen chambers. Those aren't terribly expensive to get involved in, and do some bouts of 10 sessions, take a month or two off, 20 sessions or so, depends on how severe that is, and hopefully the hyperbaric oxygen doc that you could find and work with would guide you through that. But it really will help if you can get into some of those, and that would be more on the severe case, somebody who's dealing with some deep issues. They're still having a lot of trouble. I would catch this on the front end and go ahead and be kind of proactive with it, because we know the more that accumulates and we let the damage and we let some of these effects take hold, the harder it is for your body to catch up. So those are things that I would start with. You know, we could kind of go down the rabbit hole with that, but those are some pretty easy things for a lot of people. You know, something that we could look at that I know a lot of benefit comes from is sauna use. To be honest with you, sitting in a sauna for 20 minutes has been shown to really increase lung capacity in athletes. I don't think we know that answer with COVID patients, but if you're to a point where you feel like you can be walking outside and you can exercise that much, where you're walking for 10 minutes or so, I think you could probably do a sauna for 10 minutes at that point and at least try that. We know that helps in a healthy population. We don't know that. This is not medical advice. This is just kind of what the research says. So that's kind of where I see post-COVID treatment going for a lot of people. I think, you know, getting into and continuing a lot of those health habits that hopefully boost your immune system, like we're talking about, will make you come out of that better. But we are seeing effects that might be lasting. So I would get it on the front end. So beautiful. I like it. I like it, Gabe. I'll have to pop out and tell you hi. I'm glad. Hopefully you're feeling better, man. You're in good hands. I might be a little bit biased, but get that back fixed up and we'll get you moving a little bit. All right, let's keep rolling. So let's see. What can you do for my knee pain? I was diagnosed with arthritis about 2 years ago. We get some version of this question all the time. We get like, hey, I got arthritis in my back. They said there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to deal with it. That, first of all, that's almost never the case with any pain, with any problem, with any issue. You just having to deal with pain is never the right answer. So if somebody tells you that, they're full of it. There is always something you can do to get some version of better. Is that 10%? Is that 100%? That depends, but you can always make it better. And we get that question with knee arthritis. So I'm going to show y'all a little kind of snippet of at least one part of the treatment. When we're treating, let me see if I know how to do this. Okay, beautiful. So when we're treating pain, when we're treating a problem, we want to treat the physical, we want to treat the chemical environment in that area. And so what we'll use in a lot of cases is something called medical dry needling. And that's what you're seeing here. So this is treating these specific spots around the knee. So, and then you'll see kind of what we're doing is sending a stimulation signal through the joint. So these are actually connected here. These are connected here. These are connected here. So we're running this signal through that joint so that we can get some changes to the subchondral bone. We can actually heal those subchondral surfaces and get a lot of periarticular blood flow. All that means is blood flow in and around the joint so that the capsule gets better nutrients in there. The other thing that happens when we do this for arthritis specifically is we improve the synovial fluid, the fluid inside your knee. When you wake up and your knee is real stiff and your knee's not moving real well, that's because the fluid in there has gotten real thick. It's like molasses feeling. When we do these treatments and we do them consecutively, we can get that fluid in there to where it's moving much, much smoother, where it's nice. It's really, really soft fluid. It's not that kind of stiff and achy feeling when you're moving it. So when we look at a treatment like this, we really can make a lot of changes to knee arthritis. And when we catch it early, that subchondral bone, those subchondral surfaces can heal a lot. So in those instances, we get people with knee arthritis who are starting to see the changes, the alignment changes. And when we combine something like this with all of the hands-on stuff to correct the joint alignment, and we start to correct above, let's make sure that your hip is firing and can strengthen so it keeps your knee aligned. Let me do this. So it keeps your knee aligned. And then We actually fix anything at the feet that would cause you to start falling in and put extra pressure on the knee. In those instances, you're pain-free. Now, how much has the subchondral bone healed? How much has happened to change at that joint surface? We see a lot of improvements in those. And I'd say mild to moderate knee arthritis, we can get you pain-free and you'll feel great. And you're walking and jogging and moving around and doing everything you need to do. Severe arthritis starts to get, what is our expectations and what is reality? That gets a little bit tougher, but we still see, again, improvements. Always can get improvements whenever we're dealing with this stuff. We do a treatment like this, like if people are coming in and they've had a ligament sprain, if they've had a meniscus irritation, we still want a lot of those changes. So we'll do some similar things, change a little bit, but we'll do some version of a knee treatment. Yes. We'll do some version of a knee treatment like this in most of those knee cases. So hopefully that helps. There's a lot that can be done for arthritis. There's a lot that can be done for meniscus irritations if you're dealing with knees. Post ACL repairs, if you're having trouble recovering, that 6 months out, you really can get a lot of improvements doing some of these things. We get a lot of people who went through a post ACL rehab program and say, hey, it's still not there, or a post knee operation, total knee replacement. And then we start doing some of these things. And even though it's a year or two out, they get all their pain resolved. So you really can do a lot of benefits through some of these treatments. So hopefully that helps. Call us if you have any questions about that. If you want to pop in and talk, we've got some absolutely the best. We've got some amazing therapists here. They'll sit and talk with you and chat about all of that stuff and answer whatever questions you have. So this is work, Patrick. This is work, buddy. I'm trying to get that information. There's so much negative and bad health information out there that we want to get good information in your hands. I think good information helps us all make better decisions. So this is work, at least for the next hour, and then we'll get the hands dirty, so to speak. So beautiful. Hope that helps. Any let's see what else we got. Let's keep rolling. All right, I am trying to start exercising, but I'm hurting. That's a fairly broad question, but I'll take a stab at it anyway. What I would say for a lot of people, if you're trying to start an exercise program, you're trying to start doing something, we need to go really slow and build that up. We need to start at a very easy level to where you're not hurting when you're exercising, and you actually build up as you go along. The easiest thing for that your body is made for is walking. Start walking. And, I think when we start some of these things, what happens is we try and create this big thing. I'm going to walk for an hour a day. I'm going to walk for, half an hour a day. Some research done not too long ago actually showed that walking for 11 minutes a day, that's it, 11 minutes, changed people's blood pressure, changed their expression of telomeres. So the expression of your gene that tells us if you've aged, and changed their lifespan by 2 years, like 2 whole years from walking 11 minutes a day. So it doesn't need to be this giant thing. And look, this was just walk at a comfortable speed for 11 minutes. There was another study done, I believe in Australia, that showed that people who did 3 10-minute walks a day actually had more health changes than people that did 1 30-minute walk a day. So if we look at that stuff, just take little bite size, we call them snacks, like do a little snack of exercise. Wake up, move around for 10 minutes, go take a walk for 10 minutes and then come back, and start with that. And as you start to build up it takes about 6 weeks for your body to start acclimating to an exercise. So in that instance, do the same thing for 6 weeks. Do 10 minutes a day for 6 weeks. You can do that. Or do 11 minutes a day, I guess, if we're following the research. Do 11 minutes a day for 6 weeks and build up, and you'll naturally start to walk faster. You'll naturally have more speed at the end of that 6 weeks. And then you know what you do? Add a second one. Do 2 11-minute walks a day for another 6 weeks. And we're doing this, we're slowly building up your body's capacity to start moving, to transmit oxygen into muscles, to clear out lymphatic issues and get that lymphatic drainage so that you just feel better. And once you've built up those 12 weeks and you've got a decent base, look, if you're walking for, 20 to 30 minutes a day and you're putting a decent pace in, we're going to get cardiovascular changes. We're going to get changes in health. As the research says, we're going to live longer. We're going to live better. We're going to feel better. And then you can roll that into actually getting into like a strength training routine, which I wholeheartedly will recommend for you. We need that strength training, but you got to get there slowly. We can't just turn it on and off. You need to build up. You need to take it slow so that those injuries and all those tissues that are injured have time to acclimate and have time to remodel to this new activity. So start easy. Start as easy as you can. Do some walking. Do your 11 minutes a day. Do that for a while. After you kind of build that up and you're starting to walk further, add that second one. After you build that up, add that third one. Take one day off and start moving some weights around, but go slow. Go slow and start walking. That would be my answer to that. Just, it's easy. It's very simple to start with. We all have that capacity. And then if you want to transmit that into other areas, you've built up some of the resiliency in your muscles and your tissues and your blood flow in your cardiovascular system to be able to do that and not tax your system. The other thing that I'll say to that is we use something called the 50% rule. When you start getting back to exercising after an injury, or if you're hurting, what we say is do about half, do 50% of what you think you could do for those first 6 weeks that you get back to a new activity. And what that does is same thing, just starts to kind of ease your tissues in. There's no shock to the body. We're not causing inflammation. We're not causing irritation in the body. So that's an easy thing for you to do to start getting your body ready to exercise. So that 50% may change. You may do a little more weight at the end of the 6 weeks than at the beginning, but do about half of what you think you could. You're leaving all kind of energy in the muscles and the tissues so they can repair and fight off any inflammation that might have been caused, because we are causing trauma. Exercise and all that stuff is a hormetic activity. Hormetic activities are things that cause a little bit of trauma that then later will cause a lot of positive changes. That little bit of trauma stimulates the growth. When we're working out or when we're walking or running, we're kind of irritating all of the tissues, the cardiovascular system, to the point where it says, oh, I need to get stronger. I need to get better. When that happens, your body makes all those changes. And that happens throughout our lifespan. I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, I'm too old. My body's not doing that anymore. Not true. It always does that. We've studied this over and over again. It doesn't matter how low level people are. If we start doing those exercises, we start doing something for it, the body makes these changes so that you can get better and get stronger. So no excuses. Wonderful. Let's see what else we got. Any other questions? Y'all fix up my rotator cuff. Christy, thank you. Plantar fasciitis with some awesome needles. Look, they're I get a lot of people who have questions about it. What does it feel like? Look, and Christy can even chime in if she would like, and any of y'all who are on here who've had it. I do think that they are a really powerful tool to stimulate your body to start healing, to change some of the chemical environment around there, get oxygen, get rid of inflammation. They do jump into the physical realm of healing because we can get rid of muscle knots and get rid of kind of little areas of fibrotic or scar tissue. But we have to add that whole picture together. We got to be doing some hands-on stuff and getting the joints moving. We have to be making sure that the whole system above and below are working well. We've got to make sure that we're taking the right things so our body has all of the right components to repair those tissues. And then, like we always talk about, we got to put that mental, emotional component in there to heal and heal completely. It's got to be the physical, chemical, mental, emotional. And if you get all of those elevated, I promise you're going to heal faster. You're going to feel better. Everything is going to work much, much faster when it comes to healing. And then it's going to stay that way because we've actually gotten the body healthy. We've gotten all of those systems healthier. So hopefully that kind of answers a little bit of questions about some of that stuff. So awesome. We're gonna kind of have a little snack tea today, but hopefully y'all get some good information out of that. If y'all have any further questions, if y'all have anything y'all want to know, if y'all want to reach out to us, please send us a text message, share the show. We're getting a lot of people who are getting a lot of value out of this. A lot of y'all have tagged people who are calling us, who are asking questions, who are taking that first step to get healthier. And that's the main thing, is can we get our friends and family and community down here where we all have these issues right now a little bit healthier? Can we take that first step? And that's the best thing. It's just doing something to start getting our health under control. So beautiful. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for all of the feedback that y'all are giving. I hope y'all have a great day. I hope you're feeling better. Get a little bit healthier today. Do your 11-minute walk, do your cold shower, do one thing to get a little healthier for me. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.